So at least 7 Kentucky players have a chance to get the taste of bitter defeat off their tongues quickly after declaring for the NBA draft. That includes Carl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, Devin Booker, Dakari Johnson, Trey Lyles, and the Harrison twins. They could break their own record of having 6 Wildcats drafted back in 2012. And after a Kentucky presser yesterday, after you just saw, he had 7 guys stand up just like that. Quite the recruiting visual. I'm wondering what you guys think about that, Freddie.
It would have been great if they didn't stand up at all.
If
they said, "Hey, coach, we decided we're going to come back for another year," he would have fainted.
His hair would have turned whiter than
But already recruited 7 on
Exactly. I would have promised you a spot to 7 other guys.
What you gonna do, right?
Rod Strickland, get on the phone. Tell those guys they can't come here anymore. When you're a celebrity and you're a star, this is what happens. You make it a red carpet event, and that's what Kentucky basketball has become under John Calipari. He says, if I had my choice, I wouldn't have the one and done. But if that's going to be the rules of engagement, I'm going to play it to the hilt. This guy had an NBA combine where NBA scouts came to watch his team practice before the beginning of the season got started. He knows what he can do. He knows what the players can do. That's what this program is. They are a celebrity program. Wherever they go, people are fainting all over themselves. Oh, Kentucky, oh, Kentucky, oh, Kentucky. And he plays that up. That's the kind of program that he has right now. He's not just going to dial it back because people don't like it or people are hating on him. Oh, there you go, 38-1 and not win a national championship. He knows that, hey, I'm John Calipari. I'm recruiting the best players. I'm getting the best players. We are the best program. We are the most celebrated program. You're going to celebrate your program. You're not worried about what the outside thinks. You're worried about how this is going to look for you on the inside because he's losing 7 guys. He'll have 7 different guys next year. There'll be a celebrity program once again and get all that attention. He is the biggest star in college basketball. He knows it and everybody else knows it, and he's going to treat that program, that player, and those players and himself in accordance with what he feels is right.
I know this was a live press conference, but it wouldn't have surprised me if it was a staged commercial for the Kentucky program. Okay, because that's exactly what it looked like. John Calipari doing exactly what he tells every recruit he's going to do. Bring them in for 1 year, train them how to be the best possible NBA player, then smile, support them, and pat them on the back when they walk out the door, and have 7 more, because there's, what, 8 unsigned McDonald's All-Americans?
7 unsigned.
These guys literally stood up out of their chairs and cleared space for the next 7 McDonald's All-Americans who are going to walk through the door. And this, to me, highlights the dichotomy of men's college basketball. You've got 5 to 7 programs who are one and done, who are operating this way, and then you've got like 20 programs who are competing by trying to keep kids there 3-4 years, right? So you've got this sort of infomercial playing. Like, how does Wisconsin compete? Are they going to do like a live glimpse into them doing the 4 corners?
But is that Cal's problem? Do you have a problem with this?
No, I loved it. I thought it was I thought it was one of the greatest recruiting tools that he could use. I mean, just look at, like you say, at the time, the McDonald's All-American game, there was 7 unsigned players. I think he already has 3. So right now, if I did my research right, 1 of them is signed. So at this point right now, there are 6 unsigned. That was their recruiting tool. This is what I'm going to do for you. Like Freddie said, you know, I'm going to roll out the red carpet. If you come here, boom. You know, and colleges do it all the time. You know, the NCAA is a great recruiting tool for kids, for non-athletes to go to these schools. They use the NCAA as their recruit. Everything's about marketing, and that's why I loved it. This was a great marketing piece yesterday. Like, look, we have a chance to get a few more to come in here. Oh, watch how I do this. And now, boom, no other team. Jaleel Okafor is going to announce that he's coming out. There's not going to be a big television. There's not going to be any of this. But if there's players,
like Chef's going to be looking over, going, "Wait a second,
I need to go.
I'm in on this one and done now."
Right. John is brilliant at this, and you know, people can have their issues of how he does it. Look, the way he's doing it, for what he was doing, and using this platform to do this as a recruit, I thought it was beautiful. I loved it.
So do you feel like this could at least start a trend maybe with other programs who are somewhat wanted, obviously, they're at the top of the echelon?
I don't think so, because a lot of programs, they look at what Kentucky is doing. Even though they would love to do it, they're not going to go that route. Right. What John Calipari has been able to do with this program. Kentucky has something on their side that a lot of schools have, but not to this level. They have status among young kids, because you can go to a lot of different areas and you'll see UK hats and Kentucky hats. I went to a game, a friend of mine went to a game, Kentucky at South Carolina. He said, Freddie, it sounded like a Kentucky home game. And there were plenty of kids that lived in Columbia that had Kentucky hats on, and their school plays in Columbia, South Carolina. He understands, okay, if I'm going to wine and dine kids, what's the best way I can do that? It's like those infomercials we see at night. This is not Soul of the 60s. It's Kentucky of the 2010s because he knows that's how it's going to work, and he continues to get these guys coming in year after year.
And I think any program that is smart is not going to try to compete with Kentucky.
Absolutely.
They're going to heavily counter-program. That's what they need to do. That's what Michigan State, Wisconsin, those programs need to go after those guys who are just below the one-and-done caliber and say, here's what we're offering you. You know, if Kentucky's not in the mix for them, come here for 3 to 4 years. Look at the guys we're sending to the NBA.
Yeah.
Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Michigan State, Draymond Green, all those guys. Maybe we don't do it like Kentucky, but we're offering you something different. They have to counter-program. Do not play Kentucky at its own game.
And if somebody else tried to do it, it would come off unauthentic because this is John Calipari's personality. You know, so there's no other coach in college basketball, at least men's college basketball, that can do this, and it comes off as like, this is just him. This is a part of who he is. So if another university, another school tried to do this and tried to replicate this, it would come off as fake. And that fake is not a good recruiting tool.
Well, I just admire the energy coming off of a long NCAA season. You got to get right back out there. You're recruiting. And matter of fact, guys, he tweeted this morning talking about Coach Kyle. Time to get out on the road and recruit. As you know, this is a different deal at Kentucky. Need to sign 2, possibly 3 more guys. We're not signing guys to platoons. We're signing guys that want to play and who have a dream that we can all chase together. What do you think about that?
I think it's good because it works. You know, you look at this team, they lose 7, but they still have a point guard coming back, you know, who's going to be a sophomore next year.
Ulis is really good.
You know what I'm saying? Really Ulis is good, but you got Alex Porges coming back for his 3rd year.
Probably would have been 8 if he had gone
that was the 8th player he was talking about. So you already have those 2 in place. You already have 3 All-Americans coming in. You get 2 more. It's restocking. It's a beautiful thing. So we
have this narrative that these coaches probably think, I'm going to get one and done and keep them for more years, which is flawed and not the way Calipari's approaching it. He has a complete plan.
Yeah, he's like, how it is.
Yeah, and so he already has guys. He's got a plan for